All right, everybody, welcome to the first ever bus life story, like video series type of thing. And we're here with Lauren and Joe, and they are bus lifers in this sweet little bus back here. And we're excited to share their story with you guys. And I want to learn about them as well, so I figure you guys can learn about them and kind of learn how this whole journey started for them, and maybe inspire some of you guys to chase your dreams if that's something you want to do. So I guess we'll start with how long have you guys been doing this?
We've been living in this bus for about 3 years, off and on, full-time traveling and working different jobs and that sort of thing.
3 years?
Yes.
We lived on a farm for a year when we first got the bus, and then we hit the road, started traveling, and we went back to where we originally built the bus out, and now we're back out here on the western side of the United States.
So what made you guys do a bus versus an apartment or a trip? What brought this? What made this a thing?
Yeah, well, Joe lived in a van when we met, and I was living in a trailer, and so we kind of came up with the idea of mashing the two together, and this is kind of what we came up with. We didn't really know that people did this, but we found this bus 2 weeks later and bought it on a whim.
Where'd you find it?
On Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. Cool. And then was it semi-converted or?
Yeah, they had the ceiling and floor done, and they had some rough building in there, but we stripped it all and kind of made it our own.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How long do you think it took you guys to kind of get it livable, time-wise ish?
Yeah.
A few months. We had a lot of stuff from the van already that we kind of swapped over to get it going, and yeah, just a few months.
Okay, and you guys got 5 dogs in there, right?
Yep. Yeah.
5 dogs, and then what do you think so far? Would you pick a different rig, or what do you think about the bus?
Yeah, I mean, we love the bus. We love the windows in the bus. We love that it's safe. We love everything about it. But we recently built an Airbnb cabin with a window wall, and now we're kind of thinking our next rig will be similar to that cabin with the same front engine of the bus. So an international flatbed truck with a self-made or handmade camper on the back.
And what did you guys do for work before you really got into this? So Lauren, we'll start with you. What were you doing before you're out on the road doing what you're doing now? The life before.
Yeah, I was a high school art teacher for 3 years. Yeah.
What about you?
I was working at a restaurant in Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so I'm curious. So this is one of the questions I've been wanting to ask you guys, but I've been kind of waiting for this moment. How did you two meet? How did that happen?
Tinder.
Yeah, we met on Tinder.
No
And,
way.
I was Joe's first date, and like I said, Joe was living in the van, and we went on a really long hike, and then we came back to my trailer, and we were making food and drawing, and Joe had a dog, and I had 2 dogs, and so it was really cool.
We even went grocery shopping.
Yeah, we went
on the
grocery
first
shopping.
date?
Yeah, to make food, because we went on a long hike. I was starving. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
Made some tacos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys started dating, and then did you guys move in together before the bus, or did you move in together with the bus?
So we never really started dating. We just were hanging out, and there was no definitive moment where we were any sort of labeled thing. We just were still hanging out.
Eventually, there was a point where I was pretty much sleeping there every night. While I was working at the restaurant, Benji started sleeping at your trailer, and or like, you know, he was there while I was at work and stuff, and I mean, we were pretty much living together at that point.
Yeah, I mean, casually, and then
Yeah.
when we came up with the bus idea, it was just kind of like, I had to clarify with Joe, like, we would both live in it, right? Because, like, we're just, like, not discussed. But that's just kind of, like, how we rolled, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's worked out.
So you guys came up with the bus idea, and then because you had a trailer, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Joe, where were you living before you guys were like hanging out?
I was living in an E350 van.
In a van.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so you could just park the van over there.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. There was like, it was funny, there was like a trail right across from the trailer park, and I didn't realize that every night Joe would leave when we first started hanging out, he would just park at the trail across the street. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually really cool. That's really cool. So how long do you guys think you were hanging out before like the bus? How long did that take before the bus became like a real idea?
About a year, I think.
Oh, wow.
We had known each other. We had been hanging out for about a year. And we had like some changes coming up. Like I knew I was going to start grad school. So it was like a rush to complete the bus. So we like knocked it out. And then we were parking it on a farm for a year while I was teaching. And then I decided like that was going to be my last year because we had the potential to travel, but we were stuck with 9-to-5s and it was just not right.
So you guys it was a gradual thing where you moved into like you want to travel.
Yeah. We had traveled like my first summer off as a teacher, and that was everything for us. To come back was like really hard, and it felt like we were living a lie. Like, at least for me, like I felt like I was living a lie, like going to school every day for so long when I had this amazing opportunity where I was living. Yeah.
So how did you guys, so I'm assuming there was a point where you decided like you're gonna hit the road, right? So what was kind of the steps you took, like when that was a thing you wanted to do? You know what I mean? Did you put in your 2 weeks? Did you guys come up with a plan? Like, I'm curious how the transition happened from, you know, living in the bus and working to, like, because that's a big commitment for people to quit their job and travel and not know how they're going to make money. So I'm curious. I'm sure a lot of people, that's the thing that stops them. So you guys jumped, and I would love to hear your story on the thought process of how you jumped, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was working at the restaurant in Baltimore, and I was like the owner and the executive chef's like right-hand man, and I mean, we kind of knew what we wanted to do months in advance. So I mean, we both gave like really extended notices, you know, and it definitely wasn't like easy because, you know, it was like something that I wanted to do at the time, but at the same time, like, we wanted to get out of there. So because especially like we were always away from our dogs and each other, and we wanted to be with each other more.
Yeah. I resigned. So like I remember we were like going to the grocery store, and something like kind of clicked. I was like, wow, I have 4 more years of grad school before, because I was going to grad school so I could teach at a college level. That was my goal. After teaching high school, I was like, I could do that and we would be stuck stationary for 4 more years, or I could resign and have an unknown future. And I was like, I think I'm gonna resign. And like, I mean, teaching was my dream job until I met Joe and I was introduced to a new potential to life. So I put in my resignation in January, and then COVID came out, so I started teaching from home in the bus, and that really solidified my decision. You know, I got a taste of working from home, working from the bus, not going to work physically every day, and I was like, yeah, I made the right decision. But we didn't, so I was rapidly applying to like remote jobs to kind of set us up for travel, but nothing worked out. I mean, when we left and hit the road for travel, we had no jobs. We just were looking for opportunities during our travels.
And did you have like a kind of savings, or did you just hit the road with like hoping it'll work out?
No, we really didn't have anything saved up. We had spent it on the build, and it's a low-cost lifestyle for the most part. No, but it took us 2 months to kind of figure out. We thought we were going to find like a physical opportunity, like work on a farm or something, but we ended up just taking the first 2 months of travel, and it led us to kind of what we do now for work. We like started thrifting clothes and selling them on Instagram, and that evolved.
And what did it evolve into? Because I'm sure this is a big one for these people, like, because pretty much from what I'm hearing is like you guys, it's a really cool story. It's like you two met and then you hang out, you have this idea, you make that step of making the idea happen by buying the bus, by building the bus, and then you guys decide you want more, you want to travel, which is really cool. And the cool thing, I think the point for a lot of people, they can get that far, right? But I think like y'all hitting the road, putting the 2 weeks in, not having a whole bunch of money in savings, and like trusting that the universe will guide you and help you figure it out on the road. I feel like that's like the jumping point for a lot of people. It's very scary because it's like it could not work out, but you guys did it and it has worked out, and I think that's really cool. So you guys started with the thrifting, and like it's evolved. I would love for you to tell them like what it has evolved into. And can you share that with them?
So for probably about 6 months, we were hustling, like driving the bus to 6 thrift stores a day, photographing the clothes, posting them on Instagram, and we were making money, really, but then it became like exhausting. It really took up all of our time, so we kind of were brainstorming, like we wanted to hold an inventory of clothes, not just one-off pieces. So I kind of started doing a lot of research into getting contacts in India and Nepal and getting like ethically made clothing. So now it's evolved into Gardenbelle Shop, which is like an ethical clothing brand that we were running completely out of the bus, and now I've kind of handed over after a year. We had the shop for about a year and a half, maybe. Or no, it's only been open for like a year and a few months. Recently, I kind of handed over my mom to start shipping out a lot of the stuff. So now we kind of have freed ourselves up for a new opportunity of what we can do next. And we're going to have a baby, so that's going to be one of the things we need the time for.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys are on the road now. I'm in Oregon, and you guys are from Maryland, and you guys are traveling now, and that's kind of how we're here. Like, you guys are having the baby. So are you going to have the baby on the road? Are you going to kind of head back to a home base?
Yeah.
So our very loose plan, this is kind of like the direction we're thinking, at least, is like, we'll head back to the East Coast, find maybe somewhere to buy some property or post up for the meantime, and for no really particular reason other than we like the seasons, and we have an Airbnb cabin that we want to put somewhere and kind of take some time to get it ready for use. And
but we'll definitely have the baby in the bus, and then we're planning to get some land. We'll do the bus, the cabin we'll finish up, and then maybe build our new rig on the land. And we want to continue traveling with the baby, of course. We like to do like a little bit of stationary time, bust out like a project, a build or something, and then hit the road.
Cool.
It's kind of like our thing.
Okay. Do you have, so it's like, you know, it's, you guys are an example of this working, right? And enjoying it and making it work, which is really cool. So do you two have like any advice? Like if somebody is behind this video and they found this video because they're like, this is a dream. Like, do you have any advice for those people out there watching this, you know, for them to get into this, or if they're in this, like any advice for these folks?
Something that I've stumbled across recently is like renting a van for a weekend and like asking yourself if it fueled your soul or if it was really stressful, like you felt uncomfortable. Kind of like testing out living in a rig. I think for most people that have this dream, it's gonna fuel the fire, and after you like rent out a bus or a van for a weekend, you're gonna be like, I'll do anything to get this life. Joe, do you have any advice?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know, when we were talking about like leaving our jobs early, or really any time, like the decisions that are necessary to sometimes make this leap into this life, if it's hard or, you know, not really easy, I don't know, usually we correlate some growth in there, and it's a good place to, I don't know, learn a little bit more about yourself, I guess, and what makes you happy.
Very cool.
So it's, you know, I would, you know,
Yeah,
something to
opening
consider.
up those doorways. Like, sure, I had like worked 5 years of college to get my dream job, but it's okay to feel like you are letting go of something that you built yourself, like your job, your stable career is really what I mean. Because you're really opening up yourself for opportunities that you have no idea about. Like, I never envisioned myself owning a shop or anything like that. I'm more of just like an entrepreneur. Like, I love to do different stuff and have different jobs. So really just, yeah, I would say, like, I see a lot of people that get held back by wanting to keep their job because they think they need it to live this life, but really give yourself the opportunity to find something new on the road.
Heck yeah. You think you have any questions for them? Something I'm missing?
I'm just curious, like, how old were you guys when you were thinking about doing the bus thing?
Yeah. So I'm 27 now, Joe's 28, so I guess we were like 25 and 26 when we started living in the bus. Yeah.
Yeah, I always look back and I wish that I had done it sooner because I'm in my later 20s.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm always curious to, like, when I, you know, learn about people who are much younger getting into this, and I'm like, that's so cool to me.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I had. So I was just curious.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own journey, though. I think it's really cool when we meet people who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they're just now hopping on board this, and it's really cool. It's really cool that you can continue to be open to opportunities.
Yeah.
What do you think? 50 years old, 60 years old, you still gonna be doing it?
We'll probably still have the bus at least.
We plan to continue living this lifestyle no matter what rig or like if it's a tiny home. This just really works for us. You're not going to catch us buying a house or an apartment.
Unless we're flipping it, maybe.
Yeah, we've been thinking about doing that,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. We'll probably live this life. What about you guys? You think?
It's probably the same exact boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll always have a bus, and then I really like the idea behind like I'm not like creating my own thing. like building my own space.
Yeah.
Like not depending on, you know, trying to find the perfect house and make this mortgage on it and having to work to pay the mortgage. Like, I would rather fight the fight to get money and buy something I could tear down. And I don't know, I want to build it.
Yeah.
It just means more. You know, I might not be the best carpenter in the world, but it's like when you can look at something and know that you built it.
Yeah.
You know the screws that aren't there, the screws that are
Yeah.
wrong. You know what I mean? But it's like,
All the danger zones.
you know,
In the cabin that we were building, on the framing, there's like little notes that we were writing to each other like the whole time, or just like, you know, fun little stuff. And there's a story behind the walls, and like, you know.
yeah. It just, I don't know. It just means so much more. And like, I feel like the older generation, like you'll hear people talk about how their grandpa built this house, or their dad built this house. And I feel like that's getting lost now. Everything is so, you know, so like, I don't know, like, what do you call that? Like, even cars are just manufactured
Like
in an
cookie
assembly
cutter,
line.
the same
Yeah,
thing,
there
yeah.
isn't like, you know, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I think this generation and like this lifestyle, most people doing this kind of fought the fight and built their own rig, and because it's like, you know, you get to paint this whatever color you want.
Yeah.
You get to build it however you want, you know, and then you get that learning experience.
Yeah.
I think
And then it evolves. Like, next we want to do something totally different. So, yeah, keeps growing.
heck yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share with them?
What do you think?
I don't know. It's all about your perspective, you know, when it comes down to like the thought of breaking down, or like what happens when this happens.
Yeah,
You
when
know.
we break down, it's a blast.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Or like when we gotta sneak 5 dogs into a hotel because our bus is getting worked on.
Yeah.
And
It's just like what you make of it. It's really, I mean, the things that happen that are negative are really only negative if you make it. I mean, we've conversated with this a lot with people, and it's interesting to see their perspective, but it is what you make it. Like, sure, you might run out of gas or break down here or there, but, you know, make a sandwich, call a tow truck. It's okay. Like, the universe will bring you the money back. You know, if you're being happy and living happily.
Yes, I mean, someone literally brought us food so the day we leave the farm to go travel full time, we like the worst case scenario happened where we broke down. We needed to get towed 7 miles away from the farm. We hadn't even gotten out of the same county, and while we were on, like, broke down waiting for the tow truck, someone had pulled over. They had went to like a restaurant nearby and brought us food.
Oh.
It was like,
Yeah,
you never,
it was amazing.
yeah, and you know, it's just like, sure, that was just like something extra, but like we were already completely, I don't know, comfortable in the situation, and then we had a great night with a great sunset when we got
Yeah.
towed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now we're out here.
Choosing how you react and accept things, because there's things we can't change. We can't change the bus. Like, no matter how mad you are, the bus is broke.
Yeah.
It's like you figure it out, and how you react to that, I think, is huge. Like, there was this, I don't know, there was like this movement on Instagram for a while about like sharing all this and it's like, it's only negative if that's how you interpret it.
Right. 100%.
And
yeah.
it's one of the things I really like about you guys is like, I don't know, it's always about growth. And how, yeah, maybe that bus broke down for a reason. Like, I think it was even Joe who told me this. It's like, it's just an opportunity for you to learn, like, if that happens again, like, what it is, how to fix it. So that's one thing I really, really like about you guys.
Yeah. Same here.
Do you guys have any questions for them or anything you think I'm missing that they should know?
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering and are interested to hear your guys' thoughts about having a baby in the bus and like how you're like, are you gonna raise it traveling? Are you gonna be stationary somewhere? Are you gonna, what about school? You know, those are things that people freak out about.
Yeah, we're gonna take it one step at a time. You know, we've just kind of figured out, we've like gone the midwife route, and we'll probably be birthing with like a certified midwife team in the bus. And we're just going to take it step by step, you know. We'll probably homeschool because Joe knows a lot about a lot. And then I'm a teacher, so like, I don't know. I feel like we'll probably homeschool, and I'm sure we'll get some traveling in and stationary living. We can't be stationary forever. Like, we love to travel. We love to be on the road. It's really our style. So, yeah, we'll see how it all goes.
Very cool. I think I really appreciate you guys being willing to share your story. And the whole point of doing this was, I know you guys probably get it a lot too. Everybody is always asking you the same questions. And like they're inspired by the choices that you've made. And you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it'd be really cool to share these types of stories with people to maybe help, to inspire people to maybe take that leap of faith. I'm not even just saying bus life, like anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I think you guys are a great example of looking at what you want in the future, not knowing exactly how you're going to get there, but just walking towards it and trusting that it'll work out. So, everyone out there, these folks right here. So I appreciate you guys sharing your story with them, and I hope you guys like this type of thing. I want to actually do this. Like, this is something I really want to do. Where can they find you guys at? Because I know you're getting ready to do your YouTube a bit more. So let them know, like, if they want to follow your guys' journey after this, like, where can they find you?
Yeah, we're both on Instagram, Lauren Gardenbelle and Joe Gardenbelle, and I have a TikTok, which is my name as well. And then I'll be kind of restarting a YouTube channel here, which is my name.
Very cool. All right, you guys. So this is Lauren and Joe, amazing folks, and they're some of our good friends, and we're grateful to have you guys on the channel. If this is something that you like, let us know in the comments below. Do you want to see more videos like this or not? I'm curious what you guys think. I'm really fired up about this idea, so I hope you guys give it more thumbs up than thumbs down. But so if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Seriously consider subscribing to their YouTube channel, and of course my lovely girlfriend has a YouTube. So we'll see you guys in the next video.
Much love.
Thank you for hanging out.